Hare Krishna, all the devotees. My humble obeisances to all of you and Dandavat Pranam. I welcome you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class being organized by Radha Govinda Temple, Kaulai, Bengaluru. And I do indeed invite you for and on behalf of His Grace, Sri Namarishta Das Prabhuji. As usual, we'll begin with the prayers. Then we'll have some glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam before we start with our work. And today we'll be able to take two slokas, 26 and 27. 26 and 27. Both of them have no purport. So let us begin with the prayers. I would suggest and request that each one of you also say your prayers, keeping the mute button on. Prayers are very important. We request, Lord, that our brain understands and we understand the clear message that He wants to send us. Om Agyantimirandasya Gnananjanandsalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Can you see the slides on your screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Very good. Shri Chaitanya Manovisam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Tadati Swapnantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutamada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagar Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansh He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Pasidubhya eva cha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. May I request you to follow me? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Janma Dasyayato Anvayada Itiratas Chartheshu Abhigna Swarat.
Janmadyasya yato anmayaditarataschaर्थेषु अभिज्ञास्वराट्.
Tene Brahmaradayadi Kavaye Muyanti Yachuraya.
तेने ब्रह्मवृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः.
Tejo Vari Mrudam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Brusha.
तेजो वारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो अमृषा
नाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि
धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि
धर्मः प्रोजहिता कैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सताम्
न प्रोजितकैतवो अत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सताम्
वेद्यमवास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदम् तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्
वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्
श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः
श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः
तद्योरद्य अवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात्
सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यते अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात्
निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलम् सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतम्
निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलम् मुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतम्
पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकः
पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये
शृणुतां स्वकथः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
हृदयन्तः स्तूयभद्राणि विधुनोति सुरस्तताम्
हृद्यन्तस्तो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवती नैष्टिकी
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी
Daily recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam removes all inauspicious things from in and out of our life and gives us opportunity to preach Uttama Sloka Lord Sri Krishna, who can bestow a nice sticky bhakti to us all. Right, so today we'll begin with the fifth canto, the creative impetus, 16th chapter, description of Jambudvipa, verse number 26. Madhumai Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare.
प्रभु जी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कुरंगा कुररा कुसुम्भा वैकंका त्रिकूटा शिशिरपतंगा रुचका निषधा श्रीनिवासा कपिलशंख वैदूर्या जारुधी हंसऋषभा नागकालञ्जरा नारदादयः विंशतिगिरयः मेरोर्कर्णिकायाः इव केसरभूताः मूलदेशे परित उपक्लुप्ताः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे
थैंक यू मधुमेही माता जी। वेंकटा नरसिंह दास प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
कृष्ण प्रभु जी। कुरंग कुरर कुसुम्ब वैकस्क त्रिकूट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषिध निशीवास कपिल शंख वैदूर्य जरूरी जरूधि हंस ऋषभ नाग कालंजर नारद आदयो विसंति गिरयो मेरो कर्णिकाय युवा केसरभूता मूलदेशे परित उपक्लप्तः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। अंजलि माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। कुरंग कुरर कुसुम्ब वैकंक त्रिकुट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषद श्रीनिवास कपिल शंख वैदूर्य जारुधि हंस ऋषभ नाग कालांजर नारद आदयः विशन्ति गिरयः मेरोः कर्णिकाया इव केसरभूताम्बुलदेशे परित उपक्लुप्ताः। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू माता जी। चित्रमोहिनी देवीदास जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कुरंग कुररा कुसुम्ब वैकंक त्रिकूट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषद श्रीनिवास कपिल शंख वैदूर्य जारुदी हंस ऋषभ नाग कालांजरा नारदादयो विशन्ति गिरयो मेरोः कर्णिकाय इव केसरभूतमूलदेशे परित उपकृप्ताः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
थैंक यू माता जी। मधुमती विलासिनी माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कुरंग कुरर कुसुम्भ वैकंग त्रिकुट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषद श्रीनिवास कपिल शंख वैदूर्य जारुधि हंस ऋषभ नाग कालंजर नारदयः आदयः विशन्ति गिरयो मेरोः कर्णिकाया इव केसरभूता मूलदेशे परित उपक्लिप्तः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू, वेरी वेल डन माता जी, थैंक यू। सुब्बाराव प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कुरंग कुरर कुसुम्बा वैकंग त्रिकूट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषद श्रीनिवास कपिल शंख वैदूर्य जारुधि हंस वर्ष फनाग कालंजर नारदा आदयो विंशति गिरयो मेरो कर्णिकायाइव केसरभूता मूलदेशे परित उपक्लप्ताः। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू सुब्बाराव प्रभु। श्रीनिवासराव प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कुरंग कुरर कुसुम्ब वैकंक त्रिकुट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषद Srinivasa Kapila Sanka Vaidurya Jarudi Hamsa Rushabhanaga Kalanjara Naradadayo Vimshati Girayo Meroho Karnikaya Ivakesara Bhuta Mula Deshe Parita Upaklappaha Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Prafulla Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। कुरंग कुरारा कुसुम्ब वैकुंठ त्रिकुट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषाद श्रीनिवास कपिल शंख वैदुर्य चारुदि हंस ऋषभ नाग कलंजार नारद आदयो विंशतिः गिराय मेरो कर्णिकाय इव केसरभूत मूल देशे परित उपक्लुप्तः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू प्रभु।
Thank you. Lakshmi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
करंग कुरर कुसुम्ब वैकंक त्रिकूट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषद श्रीनिवास कपिल शंख वैदूर्य चारुदि हंस ऋषभ नाग कालंजर नारद आदयः विशन्ति गिरयः मेरो कर्णिकाय इव केसरभूताः मूलदेशे परितः उपक्लुप्ताः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा।
Thank you. Lakshmi Mataji, can you read synonyms for us? Is it possible?
यस प्रभु जी।
Thank you, Mataji.
कुरंगा कुरंगा कुररा कुररा कुसुम्ब वैकंक त्रिकूट शिशिर पतंग रुचक।
Nishada.
1 minute प्रभु जी।
Sorry? You want me to raise it?
एनफ। कुररा कुसुम्ब वैकंक त्रिकूट शिशिर पतंग रुचक निषद श्रीनिवास okay, so on Vimshati Girayaha 20 mountains, Meroho of Sumeru mountain, Karnikayaha of the whorl of the lotus, Iva like Kesara Bhutaha as filaments, Mula Deshe at the base, Paritaha all around, Upakluptaha arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sorry, Prabhuji, little late. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Mataji, no problem. Thank you very much, Lakshmi Mataji. Translation. There are other mountains beautifully arranged around the floor of Mount Meru, like the filaments around the whirl of the lotus flower. Their names are Kuranga, Kurara, Kusumba, Vaikanka, Trikuta, Sisira, Patanga, Ruchaka, Nisada, Srinivasa, Kapila, Sankha, Vaiduya, Jirudi, Hamsa, Rishabha, Naga, and Kalanjara, and Narada. These are various mountains. They are large in number, and thus, because they are large in number, they look like filaments. You know the filaments. Filaments are those little stick-like things in the flowers between the petals, or in the middle of the petals, or in the group of the petals in the center that contains all the pollens on the top. When these filaments move, the pollens separate themselves and fly in the air. Air is the cause of the movement, and air is the cause of the spread of this pollen. And once the pollen spreads, wherever it goes, it acts like a seed and germinates into a new plant when it comes in contact with the land. Let us take the next verse as well. Whosoever wants to, okay. It is verse number 27, 5th canto, that is Creative Impetus, 16th chapter, that is the description of Jambudvipa, verse number 27. Madhumai Mataji, please go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जठरदेवकूटौ मेरुं पूर्वेण अष्टादशयोजनसहस्रम् उदगायतौ द्विसहस्रं पृथुतुङ्गौ भवतः एवम् अपरेण पवनपारियात्रौ दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरौ प्रागायुतौ एवम् उत्तरतः त्रिशृङ्गमकरौ अष्टभिरेतैः परिसृतः अग्निरिव परितः चकास्ति काञ्चनगिरिः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
Thank you, Mataji. Subharao Prabhuji, go ahead, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। जठरदेवकुटौ मेरुं जठरदेवकूटौ मेरुं पूर्वेणाष्टादशयोजनसहस्रमुद्गायतौ द्विसहस्रं पृथुतुङ्गौ भवतः एवमपरेण पवनपारियात्रौ दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरौ प्रागायतावेवमुत्तर तस्त्रिशृङ्गमकरावष्टभिरेतै परिश्रुतोऽग्निर्व परितश्च कास्ति काञ्चनगिरिः। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Subharao Prabhuji. Venkata Narasimhadas Prabhuji, go
हरे
ahead,
कृष्ण
Prabhuji.
प्रभु जी। जठर देवकोटौ मेरुः पूर्वेण अष्टादश योजन सहस्र उद्गायतौ द्विसहस्रं पृथुतुङ्गौ भवतः एवमपरेण पवनपारियात्रौ दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरौ प्रागायतवेमुत्तरतः श्री त्रिशृङ्ग मकर अष्टाभिरेतै परिश्रुतो अग्निरिव परितच्च कास्ति कांचनगिरिः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Thank you. Srinivas Dayamaya Das Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Hare
जठरदेवकुटौ मेरुं पूर्वेण अष्टादशयोजनसहस्रमुद्गायतौ द्विसहस्रं पृथुतुङ्गौ भवतः एवम् अपरेण पवनपारियात्रौ दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरौ प्रागायतवेवम् उत्तरतः त्रिशृङ्गमकरौ अष्टभिरेतैः परिसृतोऽग्निरिव परितश्च कास्ति काञ्चनगिरिः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Thank you. Thank you. Madhumati Vilasini Mataji.
हरे
Go ahead.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जठर देवकूटौ मेरुं पूर्वेणाष्टदश योजन सहस्रम उद्गायतौ द्विसहस्रं पृथुतुङ्गौ भवतः एवं परेण पवनपारियात्रौ दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरौ प्रागयता एवम उत्तर त्रिभृङ्गमकर अष्टभिरीतैः परिश्रितो अग्निर इव परितश्च कासित काञ्चनगिरिः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Mataji. Chitra Mohini Devi Dasiji. Go ahead, Mataji.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जठरदेवकूटो मेरुं पूर्वेणाष्टादशयो जनसहस्रमुदगायतौ द्विसहस्रं पृथुतुङ्गौ भवतः एवम् अपरेण पवनपारियात्रो दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरो प्राघायतवेवम् उत्तरतः त्रिशृङ्गमकराव अष्टभीरैतै परिष्कृतो अग्निरव परितश्च कास्ति कांचनागिरिः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. थैंक यू.
Thank you. Lakshmi Mataji, go ahead, Mataji.
जठरदेवकूटौ मेरुं पूर्वेण 18 योजनसहस्रम् उद्गायतौ 2,000 पृथुतुङ्गौ भवत एवम् अपरेण पवनपारियात्रौ दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरौ प्राक् आयतौ एवम् उत्तरतत्त्रिशृङ्गमकरौ अष्टभिः एतैः परिश्रुत अग्नि इव परितः चकास्ति कांचनगिरिः. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Prafulla Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. जठर देवकूटौ मेरुं पूर्वेण 18 योजन सहस्रम उद्गतयो 2,000 पृथुतुङ्गौ भवत् एवम् अपरेण पावन परियात्रो दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरो प्राग् आयतो एवं उत्तरतस्त्रिशृङ्ग मकरौ अष्टभिः एते परिष्कृतो अग्निरिव परितश्चकस्ति कांचनगिरिः. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you. Subbarao Prabhuji, can you read the synonyms for us?
Definitely, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Jathara Deva Kutau. Two mountains named Jathara and Devakuta. Merum, Sumeru mountain. Purvena, on the eastern side. Ashtadasa Yojana Sahasram, 18,000 yojanas. Udagaya Tau, stretching from north to south. Trisahasram, 2,000 yojanas. Prithu Tungau, the width and in width and height. Bhavataha, there are. Evam, similarly. Aparena, on the western side. Pavana Pariyatro, two mountains named Pavana and Pariyatra. Dakshinena, on the southern side. Kailasa Karavirao, two mountains named Kailasa and Karavira. Prakayatau, expanding east and west. Evam, similarly. Uttarata, on the northern side. Trishringa Makarau, two mountains named Trishringa and Makara. Ashtabhi Etaihi, by these 8 mountains, Parishrataha, surrounded, Agni Iva, like fire, Paritaha, all over, Chakasti, brilliantly shines, Kana Chana Girihi, the golden mountain named Sumeru or Meru. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Subbarao Prabhuji. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On the eastern side of Sumeru mountain are two mountains named Jatara and Devakutta, which extends to the north and south for 18,000 yojanas. That makes 144,000 miles. Similarly, on the western side of Sumeru are two mountains named Pavana and Pariyatra, which also extend north and south for the same distance. That's 18,000 yojanas or 144,000 miles. On the southern side of Sumeru are two mountains named Kailasa and Karavira, which extends east and west for 18,000 yojanas. Again, the same calculation, 144,000 miles. And on the northern side of Sumeru, extending for the same distance east and west, are two mountains named Trishranga and Makara. The width and the height of all these mountains is 2,000 yojanas. That's 16,000 miles. Sumeru, a mountain of solid gold, shining as brilliantly as fire, is surrounded by these 8 mountains. When we were in the primary school, we were having a drawing called freehand, wherein you draw half of the picture and duplicate them on the other side or on the other half with the mirror image. Both of them look identical to each other and then from the middle of the paper. This Jambudvipa also looks very similar to that kind of a free hand, wherein a central mountain is a mountain of solid gold called Sumeru Mountain, surrounded by 8 more mountains, 2 on the north going from east to west, 2 on the south again going from east to west, 2 on the east going from north to south, and 2 on the west again going from north to south. One always wonders when the mountains are so big, whether they cut each other or not. But anyway, the distances look so good that probably they must be still keeping away with the lakes and forest in between. We can to some extent imagine the geography with bigger mountains, but rest of the geography is difficult to remember, though very easy to understand. And naturally, the distances, though look equidistant, are changing at times and so are difficult to remember them. But I don't think we need to really remember them so well. Basically, all these slokas are telling us about Jambudvipa, which is an island that covers part of the subcontinent of India. And as you know, the crust of the earth kept on changing, kept on dividing, and is still moving on its own on the surface of lava, which is a liquid molten matter in the core of the earth. As this is a talk of some several thousand years ago, the things keep changing, and today also things are changing. As I told you earlier, the Himalaya is still moving up because there is a pressure of the Indian plate on Euro-Asian plate, and thus the part of the Indian and Euro-Asian plate is rising up and up. Similar things are happening to Alps. The Swiss part of the Alps, the German part of the Alps, and the French part of the Alps are still rising faster than rest of the Alps in the Eastern Europe. And similarly, the Andes in the South America are also climbing up and up. The evidences are ample that Himalaya, if you go to some of the areas in Bongsho area, which is basically a lake separating Tibet from India, is a lake where there is a sand on the beaches, and that sand looks like the sand that you find in Goa or any other place of Jagannath Puri. And there are evidences suggesting that there was salty water there and the sea was there. So this basically what I'm trying to tell you is probably Himalaya at one stage was at the bottom of a sea or an ocean. It climbed up because of the strong pushing by the pressure from lava underneath, and thus the mountains are created. When the mountains are created, the evaporation of the water or the sun making the rain, clouds always hit these mountains, and so one side of the mountain always has a lusty green environment of vegetation. But since the clouds are obstructed one way, they can hardly cross the other side of the mountain. And so, mostly, the other side of the mountains are barren and having no trees at all. If you look at the Himalayas, when you go towards Manali and from then Manali onwards into Ladakh, you remember the words of our first Prime Minister, not even a blade of grass grows there. You will not find a single tree across the field, across the mountains, and so also single human being. So this becomes a barren, uninhabitable land because the rains do not go there. Again, it's just physio- a physical phenomenon that occurs and produces such desert-like situation in the mountains. The problem that we as nation, Indians, are facing at the moment is the uprooting of the trees. Now, if you look at mountains and if you go for a vacation to Himalayas, you will find that if you had previously gone earlier there was not much of a population there. Now people are living as if they are living on the plains. If you go to the side of Simla and other things, the Simla is like an overcrowded city. These inexhaustible numbers of human beings staying there not only just gives a weight to the mountain, but they destroy the surrounding trees and construct their houses. The houses actually needs a support of the land, whereas the trees, by the way of their intricate root system with multiple intermingling branches, holds the land and the soil there on the top in the event of heavy rains. When the trees are removed for the purpose of wood for fueling or for any other purpose, the roots of the trees also die and they no more hold the topsoil of the mountains. When they are not held by anything, the rain, especially a torrential rain, will cause mudsliding, and that will produce the huge catastrophe to the people either living there on top or those who are living down there at the foothills of the mountains. Because ultimately the whole wrath not only moves from up above, but also goes down and buries everything that is living or existing there. So this is a new phenomenon that is coming up. And you've seen many celebrities also dying because of the landfall. And that's why creating jungles again are equally necessary so that the topsoil of the earth remains attached there only and doesn't move down. We are actually creating a lot of other problems like producing tunnels through the mountains to divert the river water. And these tunnels then pass through the mountain, but these tunnels are not covered with the cement. And that's why the mountain keeps on absorbing the water passing through these tunnels. And ultimately, the whole mountain gets so wet that it collapses on its own. These are some of the problems I thought we should know. As we call, there is a climate change. Yes, there is a climate change. You see now that we are getting hotter days and colder days. They are especially perceivable in the places where the heats and the cold are in the extremes. And so also the rains. Where the rains were more than adequate, they all get torrential rains and rains lasting for many days. And this huge water body fills up every part of the place that it falls on. So these are the changes that we are facing, and to prevent it, we must go back to zero carbon emission level, which is very, very difficult. And of all the people who produce this climate change, unfortunately, are developed world, which produces about 1/4 of the carbon. And the developing countries, though they produce nasty air to live in, like Delhi, if you see, the air is so bad. But their population-wise, the carbon produced is very less. The problem in the developed world is their population is very small and still they produce enormous carbon. Uh, Now even they say carbon movements are also equally of importance. A fruit which is grown in Australia travels all the way to India and then we eat them. Now that fruit has been brought to India by consumption of carbon, and so it has a carbon footprint of X amount. This is said to be dangerous as more and more carbon grows in the air. Any question? Unfortunately, there are no philosophical angles or talks here, and so we get satisfied with the creation of Lord Krishna and how he creates and what he has created. Any question, any queries, any comments, any doubts? Hare Krishna. If there are no comments, no doubts, thank you very much for attending the early morning short Bhagavatam class. And I wish all of you have a wonderful Krishna conscious day ahead. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patita nama pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna to all of you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanyawad.
everybody. Happy
Thank you,
Ekadashi.
Prabhuji.
Happy Ekadashi, happy
Hare Krishna
Ekadashi.
Prabhuji.